Hello and welcome back to my channel. As promised, today I'm going to be reading another article from the November 2020 edition of the Light paper, a truth paper, link in the description. So I have my glass of kombucha and let's fire away. Okay, so let me make this full screen mode. Ooh. And it's gone a bit crazy, so there we go. Zoom in a little so you can read along beside me if you wish. So this is Why We Need to Reclaim Power Over Our Health by Kelly Jones. On the 10th of October 2020 in Berlin, scientists, doctors and activists under the umbrella of the Extra-Parliamentary Corona Investigation Committee announced the newly formed World Doctors Alliance, uniting around the world with integrity and right action. The URL is in the article here. It's www.acu2020.org. And I must say that's a beautiful picture. Okay. With transparency and facts, these experts and concerned citizens have united to support the values of freedom of movement, freedom of speech, and the protection of our right to be informed about true health. If you take a little time to listen to what these intelligent, decent, and compassionate professionals have to say, you will most certainly be surprised to find out that they have all, at some point during this pandemic, been either censored, arrested, or cast as conspiracy theorists for simply trying to save humanity with the truth. I can certainly empathise there. So as more and more disinformation goes viral and people become confused as to what to believe, it compelled me to bring our attention back to something much more basic and trustworthy: ourselves. With separation from each other and our own minds on the elite agenda, it seems to be a rebellious act to remember that we are natural creations, and just like any creature on earth, we have instincts that aid us to react without conscious thought or learning, and the intuition to know something immediately based on feelings, not facts. Trouble is, because of the constant drip-fed stripping away of our identities, self-esteem and ability to think critically, we really don't know ourselves or who we are at all anymore. The fear of judgment, the brain's constant need to survive impending danger, and the complete overload of information, not to mention the toxic food, water and air, have seemingly stripped away our innate ability to trust ourselves. To make it clear, I am here to encourage independent thinking. To start an inner conversation with yourself about who you really are. How do you really feel? Why do you believe what you believe? Is it really your belief, or has it been adopted without proper examination? When we are in fight or flight fear response, no matter how minimal, our body believes it may die and will shut down our ability to think clearly. The urge to exercise and get into nature during lockdown was not just because we were all cooped up indoors. When we get into our bodies and out of our heads, when we ground and earth ourselves, we feel safer and can make better decisions. The surge in popularity to take up yoga and meditation is also no coincidence, as these practices encourage stillness and inward exploration, freeing the mind from the external noise and the recovering of our natural wisdom. I made the decision nearly 7 years ago now to stop watching TV, to turn off the bad news and fear-mongering adverts, to no longer read a newspaper, and to instead fill myself up with what I like to read, watch and hear. This made some people so irritated. They told me I should know what's going on in the world. Why? Actually, what it did is help me to rediscover who I really am, or who I was before so much programming was channeled into me by the tell-lie vision. I gradually weaned myself off of needing to know too much about everyone else's business, and most importantly what I was supposed to be fearful of. I can say with my hand on my heart that I have not for one moment been scared of catching a virus. Partially because I understand what a virus is. And if you want to know more, there's a website address here, www.shotoftruth.com. But mostly because I do not listen to complete strangers about what is best for my body, mind and soul. I hear people scoff at that because deep down inside us all, somewhere, we are realising we have been lied to an almost too unfathomable amount to accept into our psyche. No one wants to realise the shame of being fooled. Guilt, shame and apathy are at the bottom of the vibrational scale. In fact, according to Dr. David Hawkins, who defined an emotional scale in his book Power versus Force. With this in mind, it is no wonder that those committing crimes against humanity will never confess, and why those who believe them don't want to listen. So jumping back to the original subject of health sovereignty, what can you do to take authority and power back over your own health? Whilst I could be sharing information in regards to our inalienable rights as sovereign beings on Earth, I have a feeling that before we can step into a better normal, a golden age or even a new Earth, there is a responsibility for every single one of us to start empowering ourselves with knowledge, to come together to learn and share instead of needing to be right, and to use our miraculous natural gifts to birth a sovereign future for our children. My best advice right now is to turn off the noise and get to know thyself first. The safe and secure feeling you are seeking is inside of you. Well, I must say I quite enjoyed reading that article, and I can absolutely empathise with most of what the author is saying. I would also suggest, if you're finding yourself anxious, worried, perhaps you don't realise because it's the norm for you to feel anxious and worried. If you're struggling to sleep, if your mind is constantly on its hamster wheel, the best advice I can also give you, and I agree with the author, is stop watching the TV. Simply turn it off. Or at least stop watching the notoriously propagandish channels. Stop watching the news. Stop listening to the news. Read it if you must. Check online the news reports in the morning if you really must. But don't listen and don't watch it. I recently gave this advice to my mother because she was very much struggling with the anxiety over this pandemic. And that's the advice I gave her. Stop watching news. Stop listening to it. Go online, check the news reports, ask somebody else what's going on if you must. Because if you read it, you're getting the information in one form only, which is visual. If you're watching the news, you're getting it visually as well as audibly. You're getting it in multiple forms. And whether you want to accept this or not, politicians are actors. They have to be. We constantly complain that during pre-election times the politicians promise us the earth, promise everything, and when they get in they don't deliver. That they're constantly changing their opinions. One week they're vehemently opposed to something and the next week they're vehemently endorsing it. And the reason being they can do that because the reason they're successful in their job is because they are actors. They have this ability to emote, to act, to make us really believe that they are saying something that they firmly believe in at the time. And so they affect us when they talk because they are emoting, they are acting. That's what they do. They are professional liars. They act. And so if you don't want to be affected by that anymore, just read the news. Don't subject yourself to it. Don't subject yourself to adverts. Watch positive, informative things. Read books. Relax, chill out and meditate. At least some part of the day. Allow your nervous system to calm down with those that those short times where you simply are sitting and being and not thinking and not worrying. And there are 5 principles that are very helpful, I find, and they are the 5 principles of Reiki. You'll be able to find them everywhere online. But they're simple little sayings that can help you. I'm terrible about remembering all of them, but for example, there is just for today I will not worry, just for today I will not be angry, just for today I will do my work honestly, just for today I will be kind to every living thing. And there is another one. And these sayings can be so helpful when you really use them often. And there's another saying I came across recently on a TikTok video actually, which I thought was brilliant, and it goes like this: depression is when you are living in the past, anxiety is when you are living in the future, peace is when you are living in the now. So living the now. Stop worrying, stop being anxious, calm your nervous system down, calm your brain down, and then you will be able to think clearly and critically. Okay, so that's my diatribe over for today. Hope you've enjoyed the video, and watching and listening. Do all the normal stuff, like, share, subscribe, notifications, and I'll see you on the next video where we will be reading GM Food Deregulation Derailed for Now. Okay, take care and see you soon.